so pierced your heart. You know what I'm saying? That you've allowed the Holy Spirit to lead you. Yeah, we want to, but I don't want us to say to the point where we have no will at all. You know what I'm saying? Because the love slave, yeah, willful submission. Right. So we're love slaves to Him, but we have to allow. Subjection means that I'm under the influence of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And that I'm allowing the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? So, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to try to get this point because we over here. I'm going to try to get this before we close. So we want to get to that point where the spiritual things, that we begin to understand the spiritual things. But the understanding comes as we come subjected to the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit will start dealing with you with real subtle things. See, they put things in books and they charge you $19 for these books. They'll put books and they'll put fabrication. And they'll make it seem like, man, I'll never get there. I'll never be able to fast. You have people that put in there and they'll put their experience and say, well, I fasted 5 40-day fasts. Am I right? Yeah. A lot of the books that if you ever watch some of the big Christian religious shows, they'll tell you, they're giving you the high end of what you do. It is, and it's the sale. It's merchandising. But they don't tell you that the Holy Spirit can work as I subject to my wife. You ain't never read that, I'm sure. That as I submit to her and she submit to me, that the Holy Spirit can expand our marriage, but expand our ministry too. Because see, check this out. Because they told us that if you really want to get more of God, if you want to experience more of Him, you have to be church related. Boom, they told us you had to go to church a lot, you had to do all the revivals, you had to come here and go there, shut in, you do fast, and you have to do all these spiritual stuff in order for God to reward you. Y'all understand what I'm saying? But I know it. But at the same time, you need those things. But so many marriages have been broken up because somebody sold them a lie and said, "This is how I got it." But they held that lie. It was a lie. It was a truth and unrighteousness because their motivation was incorrect, and they wanted to appear to that person that they had it going on, so they had to put a connotation or a face, a facade, a religiosity to it, so you can buy on it. So you can buy that lie. But God is first things first, God. He's a practical God. In fact, He's going to anoint what you do regularly. I'm going to say that again. He's going to anoint what you do regularly.
Yes. Like we live every day. Every day. We're consecrated unto Him every day. It doesn't have to be a 40-day set, thing, unless God will deal with you individually and say, okay, do this. We're not knocking. But every day is a consecrated day.
And we channel all our strength on the spiritual aspect. And then everything else is suffering. Because we got this partition in our mind and this partition, on this side we're talking about sacred, on this side we're talking about secular. But when you get in the kingdom, it's holy. Raising your kids up, that's godly. Loving your kids, that's godly. Huh? Well, this will mess you up, won't it? Because nobody never told us that. I thank God for Apostle Tim early. That's the one that and that's when my marriage started changing. When I started connecting with him, and how he started talking about Miss Butterworth and all that, and how he treated his wife, that did something to me. I'm like, wow. And he always told me, he said, never lose your, that's a quote I had, and I posted, I said, I'll never lose my marriage trying to go to the nations.
Come on.
Trying to have a name. If my name in my house don't have any weight, then my name in the nations won't matter. I don't know where that came from, but it's true. That's the way I feel. Okay? Go to Nehemiah 9:20. We're going to stop there. We won't even get to point 1 today. We'll do it that Sunday. I'm trying to nail this because we only got a couple more weeks to get it done. Nehemiah, the 9th chapter, verse 20.
You also gave your good spirit to instruct them, and did not withhold your manna from their mouth, and gave them water for their thirst.
Y'all got that? That's powerful. You know he was writing to them that was coming out of Babylon. He was giving a history. You read the 9th chapter, he's just talking about the history and how God sustained that nation coming out of Egypt, coming into the promised land, coming through the wilderness. And it's also good for us because he said, thou gavest also thy good spirit. So here in Nehemiah said God gave us, as he rehearses the history of how God interacted with us and brought us safely to the promised land. He said, you gave us your good spirit. Guess what? Tell your neighbor, he gave us a better spirit. Because they were led by a cloud by day and a fire by night. Everything that they had, the rock that followed them in the wilderness was the type of Christ.
I mean, it was all on the outside.
All on the outside. Yeah. But everything that was on the outside came on the inside.
Come on.
That's the difference between the New Testament and the Old Testament. We need things out here if you're Old Testament minded. But when you become New Covenant minded or New Testament minded, you know that everything that God did out here for them, he's doing it here for us.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that again, and that make a Baptist get happy. That everything he's doing out here for them in the Old Testament, he's doing in here for us.
Come on. Exciting.
It is. So that Holy Spirit I wrote, that good spirit is the Holy Spirit. He gave that Holy Spirit, that good spirit, to instruct them with principles. And he didn't withhold no manna. He didn't withhold any wisdom. Tell your neighbor, when you know the Spirit is good, nothing is withheld. We got 6 pointers we're going to share on Sunday. When we know that we made up in our mind that the Spirit that God has given us is for good things. He said, there's no good thing he'll uphold for them that walk uprightly. And he said, you know what? Even if you can't walk uprightly, I'm going to send my grace in the earth that'll make up the deficit in your life.
Yes.
If you're deficient in the area, he gave us grace under the new covenant. So he says that he would hold no man or no wisdom from their mouth. He gave them
water for their thirst.
Gave them water for their thirst, honey. No more spiritual dehydration. Tell your neighbor, no more being thirsty. The only time you get thirsty in the things of God is when you stop following him.
You feel dry up like a food. You will dry up. You can tell when you're feeling dry. Again, we've mentioned this so many times. It's not always the enemy or the devil on your back.
Come on, girl.
It's dry up. It's because you